Welcome back to my channel, and in today's episode I will tell you how to retouch an eye. And first of all, I will identify some areas where I have to work. First of all, I will identify some highlights. So let's create a new layer. Control Shift Alt and N together, and encircle or underline some highlights. So let's select a blue bright brush and paint on those areas where I want to work. So I'm encircling or underlining only the highlights at the moment. So these are all the highlights inside and outside the eye where I have to work. And then this area inside the eye I have to maybe paint with white, but I don't want to make it very bright. So let's uncheck this layer and let's create two more layers. Control Shift Alt and N together, and these are the two layers for dodging and burning. So let's rename them to dodging and the other one to burning. So I'm going to select the brush tool. I'm going to select a very soft brush with 0% hardness. Size you can change according to your needs, and change the flow down to 2%, and change the blending mode of these two layers to soft light. And let's select a white brush. So you can hit on the default, you can press D and then X. So I'm going to paint on these highlights very gently. So try not to overdo it, because in that way it will look all fake. So I'm just making very subtle changes, and since my flow is quite down, so this should not be an issue. So let's take down the flow further down to 1 and paint on the other side of the eye, because when a light is entering from one side, it will leave the eye from the opposite side. Since the light is coming from top right, it will leave from bottom left. So I'm painting with white in this area as well. So paint these small details. You can see one white line. So paint on this as well, and adjust your brush size. Since we have done the dodging, now let's do the burning and change the foreground color to black, and paint on those areas which are dark inside or outside the eye. We can paint the periphery as well, and let's change the flow back to 2%. So generally your shadows and highlights, they are next to each other, so it's not difficult to identify shadow once you are able to identify a highlight. So let me paint on all these dark areas. So let's select both of these layers and press Ctrl and G together to put them in a group and call it DB. And here is the before of DB and here is the after. So many things have changed, but still I want to make some more changes. Let's create a new layer. Control Shift Alt and N together, and I will paint inside the eye. Let's sample this color and select a very bright color. Maybe around here is fine. Okay, and select the brush with 100% hardness, and you can change the size according to your needs. Then let's change the flow to 100%. So we want to paint with a very solid brush. I've already sampled this area, so let's brush in the same areas where I have selected the color from. So you can do it randomly, but try to focus on those exact same color areas. So we have like 3 colors in this eye. So the first one is orange, then we have another color here which is a shade of green. So you can sample from different areas, and whichever you like the most you can use that one. And let's use a bright color in this case. Here so these are few areas where I want to paint. Then I need to sample one black area as well. Sorry, let me just remove these. Control and Z together. So we will paint on these small black lines. Try to adjust the brush according to your requirement and paint on the periphery as well. So now let's put some Gaussian blur to this. So you can take the slider down, because if you give it too much of the blur, it will not appear as any sort of change. So I'm going to take it down to maybe 8%, which is fine in my case. So you can change it according to your own needs. So you can decrease the opacity according to your requirement if you feel the change is too intense. So I'm going to put layer mask on this layer, and I will remove the color from the center of the eye because it should be black, but some color when we give it a Gaussian blur has spilled onto this area. So make sure you're painting on the mask, not on the layer. So you can also change the size of your brush to match the exact pupil, and then just click in that area. So here you go. So So this is it. Let's put all these this layer and the db folder in one group with Control G and call it eyes. So let's turn it off. Here's the before and here's the after. Thank you very much for watching and keep supporting us. Do subscribe and like our channel, and till the next video, goodbye.